What is up, my beautiful people? Do y'all like hairstyle number 3 for video number 3? We are back for episode 9 of Bluff City Law. Ave Maria. That was the name of the episode, Ave Maria. Just gave y'all a little something. So it's about the Catholic Church, this episode, and how they fired a woman because she got pregnant by IVF, and that was against their rules. So, and her husband, basically decided to sue the parish, saying they had no reason to fire her for getting pregnant. And the lawyer, like, they just went after her. And she was a teacher there. How she wasn't supposed to, because I guess, like, with the church, I guess the Catholic Church at least, they don't believe in science. Everything is God's will. So if you're not doing it that way, then it's wrong, I guess. And what do I want to say? Like, he came after her teaching skills, talking about she was giving the kids books that they weren't supposed to read. It was also in the contract that she signed for the school, saying that no outside books that weren't approved for the school year. So it's just like, basically, she lost. They lost the case. Finally, they lost the case, because, like, in every episode, in some way, they have won every single case. So it's just like they finally lost the case. And it was just talking about how Emerson, he's one of those people, like, he's spiritual but not religious. So he believes that there's a higher power, but he doesn't go to church and doesn't. And Sydney, once again, is coming back to Elijah and his cheating, because she said she used to believe in the church, but then it's just like, as she got older, she would go to church and see the same, like, I guess a couple of the women from the church Elijah cheated with, because it's just like she would see them reading their book and singing the songs like how a Christian or a Catholic is supposed to do, knowing that they slept with her daddy. And it's just like, Elijah cheated with a lot of women. So it's just like, I can see how she left the company and didn't want to work with him and didn't want to talk with him no more. Because it's just like, how you gonna sit in my face and say that you love my mom and you just cheated on her with so many people? And it was something about how he said that's what made your mom a good person. She never gave up on me. And I guess, like, she said somehow he always believed that God was looking after him. And it's just like, if God's looking after you and all the dirt that you doing, I think I'm good on that. But by the end, I guess her faith is restored, because at the end of the episode, while Elijah is in church, here she comes walking into church sitting by him. And the other case was with Anthony and Brianna, I believe is her name, because she's not like a lawyer, but her and Emerson are the same. Like, they find out information for the lawyers' cases. So the boy who's in high school, who was a wrestler, who had to cut his dress like the day of the match, like they cut him right there on the floor. That was the other case of this episode. But with this one, he didn't cut his hair, because he said, he was like, I've been wrestling with my hair like this the whole season, and I've never had to cut it. And it was just like, it was a different referee this time, and he said, well, you're not wrestling if you don't do it. And at first he was like, fine, whatever, like how the original case was, like, just cut it so we can wrestle. But he refused. And so they went to the school board, I believe, and Anthony said some words on his behalf. And he was able to, at first he didn't want to do it. He's just like, why can't I just cut my hair and get it over and done with? Like, he didn't care about it. And it's just like, Brianna had to talk to him, like, if you grew your dread like for a reason, and it's like, you like your hair like this, why do you have to change who you are? And if they didn't have a problem with it before, why do they have a problem with it now? So it's just like, no, you're not cutting your hair. You know, like it's a part of our culture. Dread, locks, you know, like whatever they're called or whatever you call them. It's just like there's no reason for you to cut your hair. So if you don't want to, let us fight on your behalf, and you know you can still wrestle with your hair. And that's what he did. And then like the day when they're in the like school, I want to say gym, and it's like people there are to hear Anthony speak. And he's like, everybody's looking at me like it's my fault. I guess they had to drop out of the match because he didn't want to cut his hair. And he gets up and leaves. And like Anthony starts to talk, and he get up realizing that he leave. And I thought he wasn't gonna say anything because it's just like, why am I fighting for you if you're not gonna fight for yourself? And but he continues on, sounding very much like Martin Luther King. He just has that deep, you know, like black men, how they have that deep, hearty voice. And it's just like, you know, he says a powerful speech. He's standing right outside the door listening, and then he comes back in and they clap it up, and he gets to, because at the end of the episode, they have to weigh in, but until they got the signed paperwork saying that he could, you know, still wrestle with his hair, he had to stand off to the side. Lo and behold, of course, he could fight with his hair. I saw something football related flashing across my screen. I had to see, make sure it wasn't my Saints. And yeah, that was pretty much it. It wasn't too much to this episode. They gave George a check this episode, you know, for him being in jail all that time. And they wanted to offer him an apology, and it was like a press conference. And excuse me, he been over it, but even with him standing up there having to shake that man's hand, you can see that George is over it. It's like that man is broken inside, but he's ready to get it over with, I think. And he told Jake somewhere in the episode that when he got his settlement, he wanted to set up a foundation in Tessa's name. So he was like, you know, she can live on forever, and what happened, excuse me, he was like 20 years from now, you know, it'll still be helping somebody. It got dark, like really fast. It is dark in here. That light is not helping at all. But yeah, that's a short one because I really don't have much to say. Because that's all it was to the episode. Like, George is just tired. He had a conversation with Tessa's mom. She asked for forgiveness, and that was pretty much it. So I'm gonna go watch Ambitions, and I will see y'all in the next video.